Welcome students to the today's lecture. In the today's lecture, we would be talking about cytokine mediated immune regulation. That is, what are cytokines? What are their functional properties? What are their functions? What are the different type of cytokines that mediate or that help in regulating the innate and adaptive immune system? What are the different types of cytokine receptors and what kind of biological functions they impose? At the end of this lecture, you will be getting to know, the role of different cytokines secreted by different type of cells in response to certain infections, and how they basically help the immune system so as to regulate the, complete production of these and to cater the infection and to, get produced in response to some infection also. So starting with the lecture, first is we need to know what are cytokines. So cytokines are those soluble proteins that are secreted by the cells, whether they are the cells that comprise of innate immunity or adaptive immunity. And that is why they are able to function, they are able to mediate many functions. So, depending upon their cellular sources, that means what kind of cells are secreting those cytokines, they are named as such. For example, if these cytokines are secreted from mononuclear phagocytes, they are known as monokines. If they are secreted from lymphocytes, they are known as lymphokines. If they are secreted from leukocytes, for example, interleukin 1 or interleukin 2, in that case, they are known as interleukins. So there is, however, a one family of cytokines whose main function is to direct the migration of cells. So those are known as they basically act as chemotactic factors. But their main function is to attract the other cells to the site of infection or to the site of injury. That is why we call it as chemokines also. So in nutshell, we can say these are low molecular weight regulatory proteins or glycoproteins that can be secreted by some leukocytes, lymphocytes, and phagocytes in response to some stimuli. That means they are not, constitutively expressing. They are only produced whenever some sort of stimulus is being, is being induced. However, they are a very important cell-to-cell communicators because their main function is to, help in the cell-to-cell communication, whether it is between lymphoid cell, whether it is between the inflammatory cells, hematopoietic cells, for so that the effective immune response can be mounted against some stimuli. However, one important property is these cytokines, when they are released by a particular kind of cells, they basically bind to certain receptors that are present onto the membrane of target cells so that they can trigger the signal transduction pathway and that ultimately, the gene expression in the target cells that can be modified or altered. However, the intensity and duration of the mounted immune response that also depend upon the cytokines because they either stimulate or inhibit the activation or regulation of different kind of other factors or antibodies. So all of these things are very tightly regulated. Most of the time, these cytokines which are produced, they are produced by activated T helper cells. And that is why these cytokines can in turn affect the activity of B cells that are the main cells that can produce antibodies. They can affect the activity of cytotoxic cells, natural killer cells, macrophages, granulocytes, hematopoietic stem cells. So that is why these cytokines, they are playing a very important role in mounting the immune response. So we'll be discussing one by one that what are their general properties in detail, functional categories, different type of receptors, and what sort of biological functions or biological actions they play. So the first thing is general properties. So if you talk about innate and adaptive immunity, we know about it. We have discussed this many times that there are epithelial barriers, there are innate defenses, external defenses, complement proteins play a role, natural killer cell play a role. If you switch to adaptive immunity, in that case, there are B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes produce antibody, T lymphocytes, they produce effector T cells. However, the phagocytes, what they do, they identify the foreign material, they ingest that and destroy those microbes. And similar way, neutrophils that also act as phagocytes, they are short-lived because They can the lifespan is quite short, but they are the most abundant circulating WBC that impose the function of phagocytosis, and they are the main cells that play a role in the inflammatory response. So this was the process of phagocytosis we have discussed earlier also, that phagosome is formed, phagolysosome is formed, and how they are completely digesting it, digested material is being released. In case of natural killer cells, they are affecting virus infected cells and tumor cells, because they are basically producing some enzymes, perforin and GAN enzymes, that bring about cytolysis. They have on their surface fast ligands, fast receptors. Because of that, cell apoptosis is triggered. They also release certain cytokines, for example, TNF alpha, TNF receptor 1. So, because of that, the cell apoptosis is triggered. As a result of these cellular activation, when these cells get activated, at that time, these, whether they are mononuclear phagocytes or natural killer cells, they start producing certain cytokines. For example, these mononuclear phagocytes, they are the principal source of cytokines in case of innate immunity, because the major cytokines that are released are tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1, interleukin 12, type 1 interferon, interleukin 15, 18. However, in case if you talk about natural killer cells, in response to some virus infected cells or tumor cells, they release interferon gamma, so that they can activate the macrophages and they can start the process of phagocytosis. So this was the innate and adaptive immunity. That is why they are playing a very important role. But whenever we are discussing about the T cell biology, that how the T lymphocytes mediate the immune regulation, there are three R's of our system, that is repetier, recognition, and response. First is repetier of clones. That, in that case, what kind of clones would be synthesized? Then is recognition phase. Recognition phase means recognition of processed antigens that are being presented with the help of MHC molecule. That means these repetier of clones shall recognize peptide MHC complex. When once they have recognized it, then the response phase is activated. That is known as activation phase. In that case, response is being triggered against that very presented peptide. Clonal expansion is happening and functional differentiation is happening. At that point, the effector phase, there are in that effector phase, in response to that very recognition, there are many cytokines that are released. For example, if T helper 1 cell is releasing, it will produce interferon gamma. T helper 2 will release interleukin 4, 5, 13. T helper 17, that will only function in case of fungal infection. In that case, it will release interleukin 17. TR1, interleukin 10, and CTL, that is cytotoxic T lymphocytes, that basically mediate the effector function. So this cytokine production, that is one of the principal response of T cells in in conjunction to T antigen recognition. So these cytokines, if you say that whatever we have discussed till now, suppose this is a cytokine producing cell, it can be anything, helper T cell or any kind of natural killer cells. Whenever a stimulus is there, the gene that is responsible for the expression of cytokines, it will get activated. It will start producing cytokines. These cytokines are released. These cytokines will be attaching onto the surface of target cell, on the surface of which the receptor is present. As you can see, these cytokines are attaching here. It will trigger a signal. It will give a signal. Gene would be activated, and the biological effect uh, you know, uh, would be expressing. Now the point is how these cytokines basically act. What is their mechanism of action? What is their localization? Cytokine actions, they can be local or they can be systemic. There are three types: autocrine, paracrine, endocrine. Autocrine means when the cytokine producing cell itself gets affected by the cytokines. For example, this cell is producing cytokines and these cytokines are activating, you can see, is acting upon this cell also. In that case, the type of mechanism is known as autocrine. Paracrine is seen when this cell is producing cytokine, these blue color cells, you can say. These blue molecules are released as cytokines, but these cytokines are basically being attached onto the surface of nearby cell. In that case, whenever the cell to cell communication is happening to the nearby cell with the help of cytokine, that is known as paracrine action. Then is endocrine. Endocrine means this cell has released cytokines. These cytokines will enter the circulation, and you can say these cytokines they are produced at one site, but they, with the help of circulatory system, they are migrating to altogether a very distant site to act upon. So such kind of action is known as endocrine. Many cytokines, as I told you, they either act on the self cell or they act on the nearby cells. So, on which they are produced. For example, T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes they often secrete cytokines at the site of contact with the antigen presenting cell. Here you can see this is an antigen presenting cell. This is a pathogen. First of all, it would be captured by the antigen presenting cell with the help of TLRs. It is being captured, it is being processed. After presentation, it is being, presented onto the surface. It is being recognized by naive T cells. At that time, it is producing cytokines, interleukin 12, interleukin 18. Naive T cells will be differentiating into two types, T helper 2, T helper 1. In case of T helper 2, it is producing cytokines. If it is producing interleukin 4, 5, 10 or 13, that will act on the nearby cell, that is B cell, so that antibodies can be produced. However, this interleukin 4, it can also, act on the T helper cell 2 also, so as to, reduce the clonal expansion. However, in case of T helper 1, this will produce interferon gamma, interleukin 2, and TNF alpha, and they will activate these antigen presenting cell in turn so that more and more of these cytokines can be produced. However, if interferon gamma is produced, it will also act on the T helper 1. So, the main concept of the cytokine mediated regulation is pleiotropism, redundancy, synergy, and antagonism. As you can see, first of all, pleiotropy, whenever some activated helper T cell is present and it is secreting interleukin 4, it can act on B cell so that it can get activated, proliferate, and differentiate. It can act on the thymocyte so that it can proliferate. It can act on the mast cell so that the degranulation can be happened and histamines or chemotactic factors can be produced. Redundancy. If the activated T helper cell is producing cytokines like interleukin 2, 4, and 5, it will activate B cell only and proliferation is happening. If synergy action is being imposed, in that case, if activated helper T cells are producing interleukin 4 plus 5, in that case, class switching is happening. That means B cell will be switching to produce an antibody IgE, that is only produced in case of hypersensitivity reaction. Antagonism. If they are producing interleukin 4 and it is, acting on B cell, and at that time it will block the class switching of immunoglobulin E by interleukin 4. That is why, because this activated helper T cells will be secreting interferon gamma also so as to block the class switching mechanism. This was a general thing about cytokines, that what kind of cytokines are there and what are their properties. Now it's functional categories. There are many categories in which these cytokines are, divided into. For example, few of the cytokines, they basically mediate or they can act as mediators and regulators of innate immunity. For example, TNF, interleukin 1, 6, 12, chemokines, there are many more. There are few cytokines that act as mediators and regulators of adaptive immunity, for example, interferon gamma, tumor growth factor beta, interleukin 13, interleukin 2, interleukin 4, 5. However, there are few cytokines that basically stimulate the process of hematopoiesis. For example, colony stimulating factor, your membrane colony stimulating factor, onto the surface of granulocyte and macrophage. All these basically these colony stimulator factors are being released. Erythropoietin, stem cell factor, that is SCF. So, depending upon that, there are different functions given to them. Now the point is what kind of cytokine receptors are present. There are basically type 1, type 2, immunoglobulin superfamily, TNF receptors, and 7 transmembrane alpha helical receptors. However, all of this classification of cytokine receptors, it is based upon the structural homologies among the extracellular cytokine binding domain. So these are the types. As you can see, this is the immunoglobulin superfamily. Their domains are being shown, and the major cytokine is interleukin 1 colony stimulating vector. Type 1 cytokine receptor, here you can see there are conserved domains. This type of structure is being displayed, and it is normally in the case basically act as the attachment site for interleukin 2, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, and erythropoietin. Type 2, it is basically for attachment site for interferon alpha, beta, gamma, and interleukin 10. In case of tumor necrosis factor R, it is a quite long receptor and major site of tumor necrosis factor alpha, beta, CD40, fast cell. There is chemokine receptor also, that is basically transmembrane alpha helical receptor that span the cell membrane part. In that case, it is the main attachment site of interleukin 8, PF4. So these are the basically these all of these cytokine receptors, they share a gamma chain that is shared by interleukin 2 receptor family. As you can see, this is the interleukin 2 receptor. There are 3 chains: alpha, beta, and gamma, because they have the unique ligand binding sites, so that the signal transduction pathway can be initiated. In that case, this is the interleukin 2 receptor. Here you can see alpha, beta, gamma. There are 3 chains. If you look on the other type of interleukin receptors, interleukin 4, 7, 9, 15, all of them have one thing in common, that is this gamma chain, this common gamma chain. That is why they all are categorized in the interleukin 2 receptor family. These are the few cytokine receptors and the signaling pathways. As you can see, cytokine hematopoietin receptor in their cytoplasmic domain contains the JAK and STAT factor. This is the TNF factor that basically contains TRAD and TRAF factors. Interleukin 1 receptor, it contains MyD88 and TRAF6. Chemokine receptor, that is a transmembrane spanning receptor. This is tumor growth factor beta receptor. This is tyrosine kinase growth factor. Now the point is how the signaling pathway is getting activated. Whenever a particular cytokine it bind with the receptor, it induces the association of two separate cytokine receptor subunit, and it lead to the activation of the receptor associated JAK. This JAK basically, once it is activated, it will create a docking site for the transcription factor known as STAT by the phosphorylation at the specific tyrosine residues on this receptor subunit. After this is done, after undergoing JAK receptor mediated phosphorylation of STAT, it will translocate from the receptor docking site at the membrane to the nucleus, so that the transcription of particular cytokine secreting gene can be happened. This is the HT pathway. This is the receptor. You can see this is the normal receptor. When the cytokine is being attaching over here, it is bringing about the phosphorylation. As you can see, these P are showing it. Activation of JAK family tyrosine kinase. It is basically phosphorylating this receptor. Due to the tyrosine phosphorylation of STAT by JAK kinase would be happening. They would be undergoing dimerization. Then after dimerization, they will move from cytoplasm to the nucleus, and they will induce the transcription of specific gene. So, how this cytokine mediated regulation or immune induction is being regulated? Because cytokine secretion by T helper 1 and T helper 2 sets are the major contributors for cytokines. T helper 1 subset is basically responsible for many cell mediated functions, for example, delayed type hypersensitivity and activation of cytotoxic T lymphocytes for the production of antibodies, because this subset is basically responsible for the promotion of excessive inflammation and tissue injury also. So this was the complete pathway of it. Antigen presenting cell, it is presenting it to the T helper cell, and from here it is attaching. At that time, interferon gamma delta interleukin 4 is inducing the signal. These signals are there. Because of that, the complete cascade gets activated. Basically, this T helper 2 substrate, it also stimulate the eosinophil activation, its differentiation, so that B cells can have an assistance from these eosinophils also. It also promote the production of large amount of immunoglobulin M. immunoglobulin E, some non-complement proteins, thereby activating immunoglobulin G also. They also play a very important role in mediating many allergic reactions. There are few examples of it. For example, interferon gamma. This interferon gamma, the main function is to activate the macrophages. So these macrophages basically induce, after getting activated, they induce microbicidal activity because they upregulate the expression of class 2 MHC, and they secrete cytokines, for example, interleukin 2, that will further induce T helper cells so as to undergo the clonal expansion. Then is tumor necrosis factor beta, tumor necrosis factor gamma. They basically contribute in the inflammation and delayed type hypersensitivity. Interleukin 4, it basically promote the pattern of class switching so that immunoglobulin G can be switched to immunoglobulin E. Now there is cross-regulation mechanism that is also mediated by cytokines. The effect in which cytokines that are being produced by T helper 1 and T helper 2 substrate, they sometimes promote the growth of substrate that produce them, and sometimes they inhibit them. So this has been observed in certain cases. For example, in the case of tuberculoid leprosy, the immune response is basically characterized by T helper 1 type response with DTH, that is delayed type hypersensitivity, and with high level of interleukin 2, interferon gamma, and tumor necrosis factor beta. However, in case of leprosy, in that case, a T helper 2 type immune response is mounted with very high levels of interleukin 4, 5, and 10. Next is last point of the cytokine concept is biologic actions. What sort of biologic actions they basically impose? Cytokines, that means they mediate and regulate innate immunity, they regulate adaptive immunity, they stimulate the hematopoiesis. These are the three main functions or biological actions of this. However, there are many functions of cytokines, but our main focus is on these three functions because of the production of few key cytokines. These are the cytokines that mediate the innate immunity, that is tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1 and 6. They basically act as pro-inflammatory cytokines. Chemokines are there, type 1 interferons, interleukin 12, 15, 18. However, in which mononuclear phagocytes are the main, producers of these cytokines. This is the complete process that how they, activate recruitment of the cell to the site of infection. Then microbes are recognized, then phagocytosis is triggered and destruction is happening. As you can see, these are the neutrophils. First of all, leukocyte rolling is being done. This is the blood, this is endothelium cell line, and this is tissue. Once it is, getting attached with the help of various types of receptors, for example, ICAM, E-selectin, at that time, leukocytes get activated. How they are getting activated at this site? Because here the macrophages are secreting certain cytokines, tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1, and in response to this bacteria, because of that, this complete leukocyte activation is happening. It will adhere to the membrane, then it will marginate here. After margination, due to the chemotactic factors, due to the pro-inflammatory mediators, they will be, switched to the site of injury or site of infection so that it can be undergoing phagocytosis. So this is the example of tumor necrosis factor if they are produced in high, low and moderate quantities. If they are produced in low quantities, in that case local inflammation is happening and leukocyte gets activated. For example, neutrophil, so that it can adhere to the endothelial membrane and it can migrate to the site. If it is being produced in the moderate quantities, in that case some systemic effects are there. For example, you will be suffering from fever because there are many more proteins that are being released in response to this moderate quantities, and then the neutrophil will get activated so as to cater the infection. Then is if it is being produced in high quantities, the basic thing is in response to some septic shock, it is being released in high quantities. For example, if some thrombus is there, some blood clot is happening, hypoglycemia problem is there. Then next is chemokines. What are the chemokines? These chemokines are basically chemotactic factors that attract the leukocytes to the site of infection. This is the basically acting as inflammatory stimuli so that they can migrate to the inflammatory sites. They also constitute and they produce in many lymphoid organs. Sometimes, and they traffic all the lymphocytes to the organs. This is the primary lymphoid organs. Then they shift to the secondary lymphoid organs, they enter the blood circulation, then they migrate to the tissue and attract the other leukocytes also. This is the chemokine family and its structures. There are four families: CXC, CCC, CX3C. However, they are classified into the different families depending upon the number and location of N terminal of cysteine residues. Because of that, they are being categorized like that. These are the main, you can say, overview of these chemokine receptors. This is CXC chemokines, this is CC chemokines. Here it is, there are different type of receptors: CXCL8, interleukin 8, in response to interleukin 8, in response to these, and how these leukocytes, endothelial, epithelial, fibroblast cells are basically attracting which kind of neutrophils. In case of CXC chemokines, they are attracting neutrophils, lymphocytes, and endothelial cells. However, in case CC chemokines are being produced in response to some microbe infection or some inflammatory cytokines. In that case, lymphocytes, basophils, eosinophils, and mononucleophagocytes are being attracted. This is a complete receptor family chart. CCR1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what kind of receptors they have. And this is the family of lymphotectin, fractalkinin, CXCR1 to 5. Then major family is CCR5 that plays a very important. These basically migrate. The main function of these chemokines is to recruit the cells to the site of infection. As you can see, this is the neutrophil. It is expressing these receptors. It is being attaching here B-selectin with the help of L-selectin. After that, it is, the complete activation is happening. It will adhere to the membrane, these endothelial cells. After adhering, due to the extravasation, it will migrate to the site of injury. Here you can see from the lumen to tissues it has entered. After entering, the bacteria which was entered inside, it will try to cater that. There are many other cytokines that are being produced by macrophages, and all of these cells in a very coordinated fashion try to cater the infection. However, the cytokines that play a very important role in inflammation, for example, there are many macrophages and dendritic cells that get stimulated by some microbial attack. At that time, they first of all start producing pro-inflammatory cytokines. For example, tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1 and 6. And these factors, they basically signal endothelial cells to make them. They sometimes start leaking to the fluid. Because of that, influx of plasma is happening that contains large number of complement proteins, antibodies. They sometimes make sticky, become sticky for the leukocytes, so that large number of neutrophils can be, reached to the site of inflammation. So the complete process is basically helping in this manner. So these chemokines, they regulate the traffic of lymphocytes and other cells through the peripheral lymphoid tissues. Because what is happening, this is the structure of lymph node, that how the B cell activation, T cell activation is happening, and after getting activated in response to particular kind of infection, they are, with the help of this efferent lymphatic vessel, they are carrying effector T cells and plasma B cell capable of producing specific antibodies. Now, type 1 interferon. This type 1 interferons, they are being released from some major cellular sources. For example, mononucleophagocytes, fibroblasts. They act as a potent stimulus in response to some viral infection. And the major function is to give the early immune response in response to some viral infection by blocking the viral replication, by increasing the expression of class 1 MHC molecule onto the surface of immune cells, and stimulate the development of T helper 1 cells in the lumen. This is a type 1 interferon, that how it basically acts. This is a virus infected cell. Whenever a cell is infected by a virus, in that case, after viral replication, this virus infected cell will produce interferon, gamma interferon molecule would be released. This interferon will be acting on the nearby cell. This nearby uninfected cell will induce those enzymes that can block the viral replication, so that that virus cannot attack on this very neighboring cell. Next is interleukin 12 also, how they basically act. This is the major cascade of interleukin 12. Suppose this is a microbial infection. It is activating macrophages. Other side, antigen presenting cell, you can say dendritic cell, is presenting them to the helper T cell. At that time, at both of these stages, they release, whether macrophage, whether dendritic cell, they produce interleukin 12. If interleukin 12 is released on one side, natural killer cells will get activated and cytotoxic T lymphocytes will be activated so that the cytolytic activity can be imposed so that the infected cell can be killed. On the other hand, this natural killer cell and naive CD4, that is helper T cell, they can secrete interferon gamma. This interferon gamma will lead to the excessive activation of macrophages and will induce the process of phagocytosis so as to eliminate that part. Now, the main role of these cytokines in innate immunity and inflammation is basically triggered. This is inflammation and how the neutrophils are being adhered and they reach to the site. And interferon gamma in response to some virus response. And these are the levels of these cytokines after getting these kind of responses. Now, what kind of cytokines they mediate adaptive immunity? Again, three main repertoires that I have previously discussed: repertoire, recognition, response, and cytokines are the mediators. So, in the activation phase of the T cell dependent immune response, what happens is the growth and differentiation of various lymphocyte population is happening. And in the effector phase, that means recruitment, activation, and regulation of specialized effector cells such as mononucleophagocytes, neutrophils, eosinophils, so as to eliminate the antigen is happening. This is the complete cascade that we have discussed. This is the complete chart. Suppose this is a T cell, resting T cell that will express only interleukin 2 receptor family. Whenever some interleukins are being produced, in that case, activated T cell will express high affinity interleukin 2 receptor and secrete interleukin 2 also. So because of this interleukin 2, binding of this interleukin 2, its receptor, it will signal the T cell to enter the cell cycle. At that time, the clonal expansion is happening because it is inducing T cell proliferation. Basically, this interleukin 2 is a growth factor for antigen stimulated T lymphocytes, and these are the cytokines that are majorly responsible for the T cell clonal expansion after antigen recognition. In the effector phase, the main thing was recruitment, activating, and regulation of many specialized cells. So this is the process interferon gamma that once they are recognizing a particular antigen, the interferon gamma is being released, which is being attached onto the surface of macrophage, as you can see, interferon gamma receptor. And here leukocyte recruitment is done, neutrophil activation is done. On the other hand, the complete activation is happening. Because of that, oxygen dependent and oxygen independent killing mechanism will be getting activated. Increased expression of MHC would be happening, due to which the complete target cell would be killed. This is the interferon gamma treatment that basically inhibit the propagation and growth and differentiation of leishmania survival within macrophages. Last is cytokines that stimulate the hematopoiesis. There are many cytokines that basically help in regulating the process of hematopoiesis. That means how these cells are being generated. In that case, also you can see this is a T progenitor. In response to interleukin 7, thymocyte, it is being differentiating into helper T cell, cytotoxic T cell. Lymphoid stem cell that is giving rise to T cell, B cell, and natural killer cell. They are also affected by interleukin 3. Here you can see due to the interleukin 7 and 3, B cells are being formed. In the presence of interleukin 4, 12, 5, and 16, B cell producing antibodies are being synthesized. The bone marrow stromal cell are basically producing these cytokines. So on the other hand, these cytokines are myeloid stem cell progenitor is also being affected by a range of cytokines, as you can see here. Growth factor, colony stimulating factor, this erythropoietin factor. So all of these cells play a very important role. Next is stem cell stimulating factor, that is SCF and interleukin 17. This is a common lymphoid progenitor. As you can see onto the surface, interleukin 7 receptor is present. In the case when the in the early phases, when it is not being matured to the transformed to the immature B cell, in that case, in the early pro B cell, in response to the interleukin 7, this is the interleukin 7 that is being released by bone marrow stromal cell. It is basically attaching onto this receptor. As you can see, late pro B cell is formed, then after that the interleukin 7 is being attached, and then the immature B cell is formed expressing the membrane bound IgM receptor. And in response to certain infection, it would be differentiating into plasma cells so that it can produce the antibody. Next is colony stimulating factor. There are many cellular sources of it: bone marrow, stromal cells, leukocytes. Main function is to stimulate the growth and differentiation of immature lymphocytes. There are many members of it: granulocyte, macrophages, PPO, stem cell factors. So all of these basically, play a very important role. However, because these cytokines, in the complete lecture, we have basically discussed the role of many cytokines, in response to some infection, how they are basically regulating the process, how they are regulating the hematopoiesis and generation of these cells. Now, the point is, if some cytokine production is suppressed or it is malfunction, whether they can give rise to certain diseases, yes, it can give rise to certain diseases. For example, bacterial septic shock that basically develop because bacterial cell wall endotoxins that stimulate macrophages to over provide interleukin 1 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. That will result in a condition of septic shock. Septic would be happening. The symptoms would be excessive drop in the blood pressure, fever would be there, diarrhea would be there, blood clotting would be happening, thrombus formation would be happening throughout the body. Then is lymphoid and myeloid cancer that basically develop due to the overproduction of interleukin 6. There is a disease known as Chagas disease that is basically a parasitic infection that happens due to a protozoa Trypanosoma cruzi, and this disease is basically happened due to the immune suppression by certain cytokines. These are the few therapeutic uses. That means we can use the cytokines also for therapeutic purposes also. Some cytokine related strategies, they are currently in pipeline. For example, inflammation therapy and modification of the response during organ transplantation in case of some infectious disease that are severe infectious diseases. In case of certain allergic reactions also, these cytokines are, they are playing immense role. They are found to be very potent molecules that can trigger the process and that can help us regulating the immune system, and currently they are being employed in certain therapies so as to treat certain conditions. That is all for today. These are the few MCQs pertaining to this lecture. That cytokines, what are cytokines, how they basically mediate the regulation, what kind of cytokines are being released by different type of cell types, some pro-inflammatory mediators, how they are basically triggering the process, what are their actions, whether it is autocrine, paracrine or endocrine, how they are basically, what kind of cytokine is, activating the hematopoietic stem cells, or how many types of cytokine related diseases are there, how they can be used in some therapeutic purposes also. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening.